Good Thursday for everyone. Welcome to the weekly weather briefing from the National Weather Service in Atlanta for the week starting November 9th, 2023. Some highlights for the upcoming week. Got good news, bad news. The drought conditions have worsened across much of North Georgia. However, we are looking at some possible relief coming in our way. An extreme drought has been introduced for far North Georgia. However, we are expecting a front to move in during the day Friday, installing somewhere across Georgia or South Georgia. That'll introduce more rain chances into the area through Sunday. And behind that front, we will expect temperatures to cool significantly beginning Friday and lasting through about next Wednesday. Unfortunately, the bad news is that means we'll have a rainy weekend. So once that front stalls to our south, we are expecting cloudy and rainy conditions to prevail from Friday through Sunday. Before we dive into the forecast for the week ahead, I do want to point out the extended range forecast for much of the country, which is centered generally around next weekend, is featuring above normal temperature chances across much of the country and below normal chances across our region and to the northeast, with only above normal chances of rain across the west coast. Here's the latest version of the drought monitor. You can see the D4 drought introduction across northwest Georgia, an expansion of the D3 area across northern Georgia, and a broad general drought conditions introduced as far south as I-20 and I-85. Latest satellite image showing some patchy fog across southern Georgia, but more importantly, increasing moisture and increasing clouds ahead of an approaching front. Rain chances begin to increase late tonight and continue through the weekend. And enjoy today and Friday. They will be the last warm days until later next week. Here's a look at today's highs, with highs in the upper 70s to low 80s, and rain chances slowly working their way into the northern part of the state with low-end chances across northern Georgia. A big picture look at the front that will be approaching our area tomorrow. You can notice that a lot of the rain associated with that front is on the back side of the front, and that will continue through the weekend. Note the warm air across the state tomorrow, with the colder air approaching from the northwest. A look at Friday night. You note the front across southern Georgia down along the Gulf Coast, with much of the rain moving on the backside of the front. Meanwhile, at the surface, high pressure will be building in from the north and the northeast through the weekend. A look at what the map will look like on Saturday and Sunday. You note the high pressure is beginning to wedge in from the northeast, with cooler air wedging in. At the same time, moisture will be overrunning that surface high pressure and giving us cloudy and rainy conditions for much of the weekend. By Monday, the front is well south into southern Florida, and high pressure is in control with cooler temperatures and drier conditions. Here's a look at the storm total rainfall chances for the weekend. See, much of the rain is expected across much of north and central Georgia. Rainfall amounts of 1/2 inch to 1.25 inches expected across most of the area. There is a focus, however, along and south of I-20, where some areas could see 1.25 inches to up to isolated 2 inches. On the right-hand side, you can notice the precip chances increasing starting today and tonight through Friday, and maximizing Saturday night and into Sunday. Look at high temperatures beginning Friday through Sunday. You notice the last warm day Friday before the cooler air and cloudy and rainy conditions move in on Saturday and Sunday. Highs on Saturday and Sunday are expected to top out in the 50s and even low 50s by Sunday. The cooler high trend will continue through most of next week behind that front, and the cooler air that moves in, highs in the 60s, generally speaking, most days all the way through Wednesday. Overnight lows will be cool again for most of next week behind that front as we dry out. Low temperatures are expected to be, generally speaking, in the 40s across most of the area. That concludes this week's briefing. As always, if you have any questions or concerns or specific requests, you may reach out to us using any one of the following methods located on the screen.